Is this the end of male overachievers' love affair with work? A Bloomberg story. In the U.S. corporate life, corporate life is defined by overwork and its reverence. First of all, nobody says that, but that's what Bloomberg says. What higher up expected to work longer hours and receive high rewards for it, men tend to end up at the top of professionals that are most demanding and lucrative, while women get shut out due to sexism. Just reading this article is due to sexism and not having enough time to dedicate to these types of jobs, which result in top-earning men making more than top-earning women. Evidence shows that pandemic may have disrupted corporate America's love affair with workaholism. Between 2019 and 2022, men who were the biggest earners and hour clockers cut back on work more than any other cohort. How many other cohorts are there? It's men and women.
That's it.
The average U.S. worker logged 1,791 hours in 2021, which is higher than other countries such as Canada, Japan, UK, France, and Germany. Overwork exasperated the gender gap by 10%, but the pandemic may have delivered the shock needed to push that trend into reverse. So cohort, they're talking other countries. So Adam, what are your thoughts on this?
So, I mean, as I'm reading this, I'm kind of like throwing up in my mouth a little bit right there. Just it's just so far-fetched and so ridiculous. So it's basically saying women are getting shut out of the workplace because of sexism. I mean, I probably get canceled for saying this, but if you go just to human nature and human evolution, men were born to work. And this used to be known as hunter-gatherers, right?
Yep.
Men were the hunters, women were the gatherers. Men were out there killing the saber-toothed tigers and woolly mammoths and risking their life to put food on the table for their family, whereas the mothers were raising the children and creating homes. And only in the last 30, 40 years, with modern feminism, has this sort of been questioned. And women, work all you want.
Please.
But part of the reason that you're talking about sexism and not having enough time, it's women have, what are those things that women typically have when they get pregnant? Oh, babies.
Oh.
A lot of times when they have babies, they don't work for a good year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Maternity leave, like Pete Buttigieg. Yeah.
Like Buttigieg. Whereas the man continues to work. Men were built to work. If you see a man out there who doesn't work, he's like, yeah, I'm just not feeling the work thing right now. Just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's an unacceptable thing to say as a man.
100%.
As a woman, if you're like, well, I'm not really working right now, I'm on maternity leave, my husband, totally understand where you're coming from. And at the end of the day, for a man, we have this debate over work-life balance, 40-hour work weeks. Your input is equal to your output. What you put in is what you'll get out. If you want to work the bare minimum, just expect the bare minimum. If you want to put in long hours and work your ass off and build something and create something and consistently improve, you'll get out what you put into it. So at the end of the day, when it comes to investing, it's risk and reward.
Yeah.
If you're willing to risk it all, what's the reward?
By the way, when you're saying maternity leave, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, it's 12 weeks in America. You're saying that some choose to go spend that time with their kid, with their baby, is what you're talking
Correct,
about. But
yeah.
for the most part, maternity leave is typically
I'm not saying
12 weeks according to...
Just to clarify, I'm not talking about corporate, allotted time. I'm saying a lot of women are saying, I'm not even going back to work for a year.
Right.
Too.
Yeah. And that's why I brought up Pete Buttigieg, because, I mean, he's back at work, but he's not really working. You know what I mean?
Obsessed with Pete Buttigieg.
Well, he just, whatever.
You're obsessed.
I don't agree with him taking off 3 months or however long he
Anyway,
took.
Pat, what's your thoughts on this one right here? Since you're a male overachiever.
Yeah, well, do the opposite. See what happens to you. Go ahead. Do the opposite. Go be a male underachiever. See how you feel about yourself. Go ahead. Why don't we, hey, Bloomberg, why don't we have more male underachievers according to the way you're judging male overachievers? What do you think will happen to society if we increase male underachievers?
Yeah.
Okay? More male underachievers. They tend to not think highly of themselves. They tend to not get girls. They tend to not have their dreams become a reality. And they tend to become a menace to society. They ruin things in society when they become underachievers. Underachievers are not good for society. And Bloomberg is sitting here bashing overachievers. Let me ask you a question. When you celebrate Daniel Day-Lewis winning how many different awards? He's won the most Oscars, I believe.
Yep.
For, what is it?
Leading role.
The Mohicans.
Last of the Mohicans. My Left Foot.
My Left Foot. He's won 3 or 4 of them, right? Oscars. When he did the Last of the Mohicans, he went out there and lived in the woods to know what it feels like. So he didn't act. He lived it, right? What an overachiever. Terrible guy, right? Oh, my, horrible guy. When Johnny Depp goes and plays Pirates of the Caribbean, and he does such a good job that now Disney has to offer him $301 million, and he's still not going to go back. What an overachiever, what an underachiever guy. What a bad thing he is to society. When a Michael Jordan goes practices or Kobe goes practices, what a terrible overachiever we got. If there's anything we need in America, it's not more underachievers. God knows we need more overachievers. So, overachievers out there, we salute you. Keep kicking ass. We recognize you for your efforts, for your sacrifice, because it's a lot of work. And FYI, to me, overachievers is not just in work. I see mothers who go above and beyond for their kids who are overachievers. I see CEOs. I see salespeople. I see customer service. I see a person that works at McDonald's that's an overachiever. I salute you. I don't care what your job is. If you're going above and beyond to do your job, eventually someone's going to take notice and you're going to get a promotion. One of the best stories Ron Paul ever told me was the following. Ron Paul said, I got addicted to this one economist, and I would go drive up. This guy was he gave, 4,000 deliveries of babies, what Ron Paul's done. He says, so all of a sudden I'm starting reading these economy books, and I'm addicted. I can't stop reading. So I go back to the lecture, and I said, look, I can't stop reading this stuff. What do I do with all this material I'm learning about? He says, let me tell you how the world works. You keep talking about what you believe in, the right people will show up and figure out a way to use you effectively. So if you are at any company doing anything you can, if you're an overachiever, don't worry about it. Eventually, someone's going to take notice and you're going to get a massive opportunity. Whether it's within the company or outside the company, power to overachievers. Let me go to the next story.
Can you just point out one thing about this, the irony of this article? This is written by Bloomberg. Okay, Michael Bloomberg, the founder, is the definition of an overachiever. Yeah. He's the top 10 richest people in the world. His net worth is close to $100 billion. I mean, the antithesis of what you're basically saying is Michael Bloomberg.
But here's the thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Before even go to this article, Rob, I don't even know what the author looks like.
Okay.
What do you think this person does for a living? Okay, it makes sense. Is that her?
Beth?
Okay, let's look her up.
Beth Cullen.
Click on her link and let's go to her LinkedIn. What school you think she went to? Maybe Columbia? I don't know what school she went. Let's look up her profile.
There she is.
Actually, go to her profile.
Vassar.
I'm actually curious now. Senior columnist. Okay, is that her? Senior on Bloomberg. Okay, go all the way down to see what school she went to. Go all the way down. Go all the way. So she was at Fortune magazine before Bloomberg. Columbia. Boom! And I guessed. There you go. And I guessed. I didn't even have a clue. I guess she went to Columbia University.
Wow.
Of course they're producing people like this that hate capitalists.
Wow.
No wonder is anybody surprised.
Wow.
Hello, folks. The next time your kid says, I want to go to Columbia University, this is new age journalism.
Wow.
This is new age journalism, not the stuff that we used to get years ago.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.